What's going on, everybody? It's your buddy, it's your pal SpazPhoenix, the YWC Reality Check, here with the Royal Rumble Review edition of Road Signs. Now, I'm going to warn you guys right here and now, anybody that has watched my videos for longer than a year knows that my Royal Rumble review tends to lag, tends to be a bit long, so, if you're in it for the long haul and you're ready to watch me review the whole Royal Rumble, and my thoughts leading out of that and going forward and da-da-da-da, because this is Road Signs and not just a review of the Royal Rumble. Yeah, long ramble. This is just a warning. This is going to be quite a long video. So let's talk about the Royal Rumble. Miz versus Antonio Cesaro. Number one thing I want to say about this match should have happened on the show. Not just because I'm a Miz mark, but because Antonio Cesaro looked fantastic in this match too. Points to talk about in this match. Miz came off the ropes at one point, landed really, really bad on his leg. I hope that was intentional. I hope it wasn't a botch or a, don't want to see anybody injured, especially going into WrestleMania season. But as for the rest of the match, Miz ragdolled for Antonio Cesaro, sold him like beast, and when he was on offense, he was intense as we've ever seen him, which is great. Antonio Cesaro also had a great showing of himself. Antonio wins the match, keeps his United States champion, and hopefully Miz moves on to something a little better, because we all know that Antonio Cesaro and the US Championship are a little bit beneath the Miz at this point. Just saying. Show starts with Big Show versus Alberto Del Rio, last man standing for the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, you guys saw the video I did about a week ago about unifying the belts or whatever. How useless is the belt when, other than Antonio Cesaro, the only people of note to hold that belt in months has been Big Show and Sheamus, which was boring as fuck, and it's pretty much opened half the shows that it's been defended at. So, be that as it may. It opens the show. Bret Hart has a moment in the back with Alberto Del Rio and basically puts him over, calls him the Mexican Bret Hart, wishes him good luck and all that sort of thing. The crowd hate the Big Show. Holy crap. In the beginning, it's typical what you would expect from these two. Show dominates with, power and size and girth, if for no other reason than that. Alberto Del Rio works on the limbs, works on the legs, works on the arms. The psychology of this works quite well because you can't stand if your legs are fucked up, and working on the arms leads to the cross arm breaker. At one point, Show brings a chair into the ring. Del Rio goes nuts with it, and the crowd goes nuts with the C chants. Now, here is where all the butthurt Daniel Bryan marks are going to say, oh, well, we can give all the credit for the C chants to Daniel Bryan because of the yes and the no. Well, maybe they're not chanting C to say yes. Maybe they're chanting C for the purpose of saying something in Mexican to support the new Mexican hero, or maybe they're just appreciating the fact that Alberto Del Rio is fucking fantastic in the ring. Just saying. They work their way up the rampway to the stage where there are hanging bits of the lighting and the staging, and Big Show actually brings Alberto Del Rio up onto one of the hanging bits, chokeslams him off through a table, which Alberto Del Rio sells like death, and it's absolutely amazing. Gets up to about a 9 count, and they work their way back to the ring again. Big Show gets beaten down more and more and more. Alberto Del Rio tricks him into spearing himself through the, what do you call that? The guardrail, the corner pad outside the ring. Pretty much what they did was the exact same thing that they do in WWE 13 when you spear somebody through the guardrail in that little oh my god moment, except Alberto Del Rio got Big Show to do it to himself. He then takes the steel steps, stands them up on end so that the V is sort of facing upwards, traps Big Show's arm in the V, and then goes to town on it with the steel chair, gets him back into the ring, locks in the cross arm breaker on the weakened arm. Look at that psychology in a hardcore match, just saying. And while he's got him in the cross arm breaker, Ricardo Rodriguez gets out the duct tape. Oh yes, duct tape made a return in this pay-per-view. Oh yes. Tapes Big Show's legs to the bottom rope so that he can't get up. He relinquishes the arm breaker, the count to 10 happens, and we still have a winner. Now, there's a bunch of people butthurt about this win. Well, this and that, da-da-da-da. It was goofy, it was this, it was that, it was unfair to the Big Show. Does anybody really give a shit about the Big Show? Does anybody really give a shit about the Big Show being champion? Or are the people complaining about this just not fans of Alberto Del Rio? Just saying. They're talking about it being a childish win. Well, the Big Show's a goof, And the whole point of this is, you know, David and Goliath, you know, David making Goliath look foolish. And you know Alberto Del Rio is going to come up with better, cleaner finishes when he's going up against, you know, legitimately talented people. And the other thing that a lot of people are complaining about is, well, you know, if he's going to be turning face, this is bullshit. This is a bullshit face turn because he can't be cheating if he's a face. First of all, last time I checked, Last Man Standing was a no disqualification match, so there's no such thing as cheating. But let's just think about the ultimate opportunist, Edge, Mr. Lie, Cheat, and Steal, Eddie Guerrero, and the dirtiest player in the game, Ric Flair. All of whom played up those gimmicks even when they were face. So please, please stop. Your biases are showing. Moving on. In the back, we have an interview segment with Ziggler, AJ, Big E Langston, and Matt Striker. Ziggler talks about picking number 1 over number 2, talks about Vicky screwing him over, da-da-da-da. Psycho AJ intimidates the hell out of Matt Striker, and then Big E Langston tries to be funny and fails on his ass. You know, Black Swagger, whatever everybody's calling him, just no. Ironically enough, he was not in the Rumble. Just saying. We get Royal Rumble promos from various stars. This was kind of nice. This was kind of a throwback to how the way they used to do things, how they just used to put promotional packages together and some guy would get in front of a camera and say his bit. I like that. It was kind of cool. I wish they had done them sort of sporadically throughout the night rather than one long video piece. I think that would have been a little bit more effective, but you know, sorry guys. Next we had Rhodes Scholars versus Team Hell No. This was disappointing. It really, really was. And I'm not just talking about, well, I'm mostly talking about the result, let's be fair. But I mean, it was just a longer Raw match. Rhodes Scholars looks great. Rhodes Scholars actually looked like $1 million in this match, gave everything they had, and Hell No win because they are the John Cenas of the tag team division. The commentary through this match, I mean, all night you could have said #AngryJBL, and he just basically disgusted with the fact that he has to work with Michael Cole, which is great. But it got a bit much in this match because the entire time this match is going on, and like I've said before, Kane's a great big guy, Daniel Bryan's one of the greatest wrestlers they have, and Rhodes Scholars is the best tag team they have right now. There's a lot of talent in that ring, and the commentators spent the entire time talking about mustaches, vegans, and Dr. Shelby. Anyways, so Hell No get another bullshit victory. Alex, or Deluxe Man, proceeds to troll the shit out of me on Twitter. Just saying. And then we have the Rumble match, because Rock Punk is after the Rumble match, which, you know, I'm sure pissed off a lot of people. Rumble match starts, and guys, I have pages of notes and a drink, so this is your last chance to get out if you don't want to hear me ramble. Number 1 is Ziggler. Obviously, we knew that. He gives a promo about him starting off alone in the spotlight, and he will finish alone in the spotlight. It was a great little promo. He sends Big E and AJ back so that it is just him in the spotlight. So I'm wondering at some point if Big E's going to turn on him and be like, hey, I need some spotlight too, but whatever. We get our first surprise of the night right away, as number 2 is Chris Jericho. I know my friend Kara, also known as Emo Kitty Cat on here, is going to mark as well. Old feud revisited, great way to start the Rumble. Commentators really, really talk up the fact that Ziggler was the one that got Jericho fired. He hits a top rope superplex early on in the match, and they get a "You've Still Got It" chant. Now, the "You've Still Got It" chant is an interesting thing, because it's something you would chant at, say, I don't know, Ricky Steamboat, or Ric Flair, or, you know, Animal, or somebody that when they come back for one match. Jericho has proven within the past year that he can still go. So was there ever really a question that Jericho's, you know, still got it? I didn't like that, but whatever. Top rope superplex on Ziggler, which is great. Number 3 is Cody Rhodes, Cody and double team Jericho. Also Jericho on Cody. Number 4 is Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston balls Rhodes in the corner while Ziggler beats down Jericho. And the opposite corner, number 5 is Santino Marella, and I shake my head while Cobra bullshit runs wild. Thankfully, Santino doesn't last very long. Cody Rhodes eliminates Santino, and Santino is the first one eliminated from the 2013 Royal Rumble. Ziggler and Rhodes double-team Kofi for a while, and number 6 is Drew McIntyre of 3-Man Band. Now, if Drew McIntyre wasn't in the 3-Man Band, I would have loved to see him come in there and make, you know, a surprisingly good effort in there. Like a couple years ago when he had a match out of nowhere with Randy Orton and he held his own for a while. I wish he could have been able to do something like that in the Rumble, but now he's trapped in the three-man band gimmick and whatever. Drew McIntyre squares off with Kofi Kingston, while Ziggler and Jericho refocus on each other at the opposite side of the ring. Titus O'Neil is number 7, just comes in and clobbers the living hell out of Kofi and Cody while they try to double team him. Number 8 is Goldust, and I mark the fuck out. Not only because I am a fan of Goldust, but as I've said before, always, regardless of how dumb it is, I always love a family story in the WWE. Sibling rivalries, you know, father, son, mother, daughter, sisters, brothers. They always have a certain element to them, and I really want to see them some point play out the Cody versus Goldust feud. They teased it last year. They're teasing it again here. I really hope it happens at some point. If Rhodes Scholars don't become the tag team champions, that's the other direction I would like to see them go. David Otunga came in at number 9, and not a fuck was given that day. Heath Slater came in at number 10, and all we can really say is that the ring is really filling up. Sheamus comes in at number 11. Floors everybody. In typical overbooked Ginger John Cena style, Sheamus eliminates O'Neil and Otunga virtually simultaneously. Rhodes and Slater double team Sheamus for a while. Number 12 is Tensai, who comes in and beats down on Sheamus, which makes me smile. Number 13 is Brodus Clay, and not a fuck was given that day. Clay and Tensai have sort of like the big man brawl on one side, and Goldust and Rhodes continue like this sort of sibling rivalry thing. On the other side, Cody Rhodes eventually eliminates Goldust. He gets this thing where they're both out on the apron, and Goldust suplexes Cody back into the ring, because that makes sense, right? So Cody takes him while he's still on the outside, runs his face into the post, and he's eliminated. Rey Mysterio comes out, 619 for Jericho, 619 for Ziggler, and we are told at that point that both Jericho and Ziggler have been there for over 20 minutes. Rey Mysterio gets a typical Rey Mysterio moment, gets to flippy dip and kick a bunch of people, 15 is Darren Young, who helps Rhodes, Slater, Ziggler, and a bunch of others eliminate Brodus Clay. Kofi eliminates Tensai. Now we get to Kofi's big moment of the night. Now, when Morrison 2 years ago did the Spider-Man thing along the barricade back to the ring, that was cool. When Kofi Kingston last year was eliminated head first, did his handstand walk back to the steps, that was cool. This year, Kofi's moment was lame. I'm just putting it out there. Now, he had just eliminated Tensai. When Kofi gets kicked off the apron, he lands on Tensai's back. Now, logic would dictate if you're Tensai, especially being, you know, the fact that this is the guy that just eliminated you, if somebody's on your back, fall backwards. They will hit the floor, they will be eliminated as well. But instead, Tensai leaves him on the table. Now, he's standing on the table thinking about where he can jump, where he can do this, where he can do that. He grabs JBL's chair. Now, it's a typical, like, one of the chairs that's behind the commentator booth. It's an office chair. It's kind of like the chair that I'm actually sitting in right now. It's on wheels. He gets into the chair and hops the chair back to the ring, which just looks dumb, especially with all the referees around watching, waiting for him to fall. It's on wheels. He could have kicked off from the table, gotten back to the ring, and I would have been okay with it. It would have been laughable, but the lack of logic plus the lack of, you know, it's not as cool as they really tried to make it out to be. Fail hard. And at the same time, while he's doing all this, number 16 is Bo Dallas from NXT. Have a bunch of problems with this. Yes, I've been saying for months and years that if you're going to have NXT and if it's going to be a big deal, you should be including in some way, shape, form, or fashion the NXT superstars in your pay-per-views. Now, two things happened here. They had a NXT 8-man tournament to establish the one NXT superstar that would get to take place in the Royal Rumble. That's fine. That's wonderful. Bo Dallas is a shit choice because there's nothing special about him and he does absolutely nothing for me on NXT, and he's just another happy, goofy guy that seems to be happy to be there getting a paycheck. He's, you know, the NXT version of Zack Ryder. And even if I don't like their choice, they are including somebody from NXT, which is something I've been asking for. But if you've got a tournament to establish this one spot in the Rumble, why wouldn't you put it on the NXT television show? Why would you just do it at the local live event the day before where maybe a couple thousand people see it? If you want to get hyped up for this guy's participation in the Rumble, why wouldn't you put it on TV? Why wouldn't you, for one night, announce on Raw or announce at least on SmackDown before the Royal Rumble that, hey, this guy, this young upstart from NXT that we see a lot of promise in is going to be participating in the Rumble. But they picked the wrong guy, and then they never made a big deal of it. So I really, really don't care. While all this is going on, Darren Young is eliminated by I don't know who, and Kofi Kingston is back in the ring for about 5 seconds, just in time to get eliminated by Cody Rhodes, which makes me smile because his return to the ring spot was lame. He deserved to be eliminated. Moving on, number 17 is The Godfather, who lasts exactly 1 second because he's eliminated by Ziggler. Nice to see The Godfather, nice to see the hose bag, even though we couldn't call them hose, etc. Wade Barrett comes in at number 18. Wade Barrett and Sheamus continue their on-again, off-again brawling rivalry. Here's what I will say about this. I don't like Sheamus. You guys know this. But when Sheamus and Wade Barrett get together, they have great brawls. And if this rivalry plays out and from this and continues, won't have a problem with it whatsoever. It'll keep Sheamus away from the title picture, and it'll boost Wade Barrett's stock as the Intercontinental Champion. Everybody wins. Number 19 is Cena. Yeah, everybody is in the ring, and this is what I kind of liked, because I thought he was going to get a beatdown. But everybody lines up in the ring. Everybody in the ring stops. Dead in their tracks. Lines up, waits for Cena to come down to the ring, but of course we get overbooked. Super Cena versus the World booking, and in about 5 seconds, Cena eliminates Slater, which I don't really care about, and Rhodes, which is really unfortunate. Number 20 is Damien Sandow, who comes in and beats down on Bo Dallas, which is nice. Wade Barrett eliminates Rey Mysterio. I'm sorry, Preston, but, you know, shit happens. Sheamus and Wade Barrett brawl some more, and we get the Walls of Jericho on John Cena while the Cena sucks chants run rampant throughout the arena. Number 21 is Daniel Bryan, who has kicks for everybody and yes chants from the crowd. Number 22 is Antonio Cesaro, not much happens. Number 23 is Great Khali, who has chops for everybody. And Ziggler, although it's not really on camera because the camera is actually focusing on Great Khali, if you look past the Great Khali, Ziggler actually hits a modified stunner on John Cena. Made me smile a lot. Number 24 is Kane. Number 25 is Zack Ryder. Daniel Bryan eliminates Kane, and Kane grabs onto Daniel Bryan and eliminates him. Makes me smile, makes me think at least sometime in the near future we're not going to have to put up with that bullshit anymore. Number 26 is Randy Orton. Clotheslines and snap slams for all. Double suspension DDT on Ziggler and Dallas, and RKO for Ryder, and Orton eliminates Ryder. Ziggler and Jericho pass the 40-minute mark. It's announced by the commentators. Number 27, the luckiest number in the Royal Rumble, goes to Jinder Mahal. Cena eliminates Antonio Cesaro. Ziggler and Jericho are still fighting each other in the corner. Miz comes out at number 28, brawls in the aisle with Antonio Cesaro as he's on his way out before entering the ring. Miz and Cena double team Ziggler. Sheamus eliminates Jinder Mahal for no particular reason. Number 29 is Sin Cara, and really not a fuck was given that day. But he comes in, he has kicks for everybody. Bo Dallas eliminates Wade Barrett, which is kind of funny because he's a rookie and Wade Barrett is an awesome Intercontinental Champion. But as he's going to try and eliminate somebody else, Wade Barrett comes back and pulls him out, hits him with the bull hammer. So I guess this is Bo Dallas's introduction to the main roster, maybe. They're going to take him out of NXT and immediately put him in an Intercontinental title feud. Makes me shake my head a little bit. And number 30 is Ryback, and at that point my give a shit really goes down. Ryback comes in, immediately squashes Sandow and eliminates him, immediately squashes Sin Cara and eliminates him, immediately squashes The Miz and eliminates him. We have a Lion Salt on Cena by Ziggler, a Code Breaker on Ziggler, a Lion Salt on Cena by Jericho, a Code Breaker on Ziggler by Jericho, a Sweet Chin Music to Jericho fuck me. A Sweet Chin Music from Ziggler to Jericho as Jericho is standing on the apron and Ziggler eliminates Jericho. There we go. What do we have next? This makes me happy, smile a lot. Well, not really. RKO to Ziggler makes me sad. RKO to Cena makes me happy. RKO to Sheamus makes me happy. Suspension DDT on Ryback makes me hella happy. Ryback eliminates Orton. Ziggler hits that insane jumping DDT that he does on Cena. Sheamus eliminates Ziggler. And we are down to the most bullshit final three in the history of the Royal Rumble, which was Sheamus, Cena, and Ryback. Nobody gives a shit from this moment onwards. John Cena gets a bullshit victory that he doesn't need or deserve. And Cara wins my YWC Royal Rumble lottery. That's it. Yep. Up until about the last 5 entrants in this Rumble, this match was amazing. The talent that stayed in there a long time were the good, solid talents that deserved to be there, like the Zigglers, the Jerichos, the Barretts, the Mizes, the Cody Rhodeses, the Daniel Bryans. It was an all-star Rumble, really, for guys that we want to see. The guys that were in there as jobbers or filler were in and out pretty quickly. I mean, like, Godfather was in and out pretty quickly. Santino was out relatively quickly. Ryder was out relatively quickly. So we didn't... Otunga was eliminated, thank God. There wasn't a lot of filler that just sort of hung around. The guys that hung around are guys that deserve to hang around. But then, you know, Vince's favorites come in and clean house and dominate the last couple of minutes of the match with garbage. Absolute garbage. But like I say, overall, it was a fun match. Ziggler and Jericho came in at number 1 and 2, and they were still there when the number 30 entrant was announced. That is fantastic. I think they were both at, I think, the 47, 48, 49 mark. That's pretty good. These guys owned the Rumble. These two guys fighting each other dominated the Rumble all the way through, and I really, really like the consistency of that. But, you know, John Cena's the winner, and... You know, go back last year, watch my Cena Apocalypse videos if you want my opinion of Cena, because it hasn't really changed that much. The last thing is Punk and Rock. And I don't have a lot of notes for this, and I don't have really a lot to say about this, other than it was what it was meant to be. You know, Rock came out to be his larger-than-life guy. Punk pulled all the heel stuff, all the I'm faster than you, I'm smarter than you, I'm going to outsmart you, all that sort of thing. There was a botched Rock bottom on the announce table because the announce table broke. You know, Rock steroids will do that to you, I'm just saying. And so to make up for that, they just hit an ordinary, everyday Rock bottom on the floor, which was not that great. So that spot kind of took away from the match. But as a whole, these guys work well together. Rock and Punk, you know, there's Rock fans that are going to, you know, cheer The Rock no matter what. There's Punk fans that realize what Punk is to wrestling currently. So regardless, this was going to get a reaction, whether it was good, bad, or indifferent. The way the match ended, the lights go out, you know, in the dark, the Shield attacked The Rock. Vince comes out. He's about to strip Punk of the title. Rock says, no, restart the match. And we restart the match, and The Rock wins. Now, a couple of problems with this. First of all, apparently The Rock can tell Vince McMahon what to do. Now, realistically, The Rock probably can tell Vince McMahon what to do, but storyline-wise, The Rock can tell his boss what to do. That's wonderful, wonderful. There was no need to portray Rock as the hero, let's do the right thing, let's give the people what they want, other than the fact that that's his cliche. And here's the thing, CM Punk lost to the people's elbow. Now... I didn't like the restart, I didn't like the attack, I didn't like any of that. If Rock was going to win, I could have swallowed it because there's part of me that's still a Rock fan, but at least throw in a Rock bottom. CM Punk, you're going to tell me that after the Shield beat the shit out of The Rock and put him through a table 3-on-1, that a simple elbow drop from this beaten down man is enough to put away CM Punk. Not only did you end CM Punk's reign, you buried it. You put a tombstone in front of it, and we are set on the predictable path towards Rock Cena 2 at WrestleMania. And that's how we ended the Rumble. Now, the match was good, the ending sucks. The same thing goes for the Rumble match. The match was good, the ending sucked. Same thing can be said for the tag team match. Rhodes Scholars made a hell of a showing, and at the end it didn't matter. Big Show and Alberto Del Rio was great, beginning to end. Miz versus Antonio Cesaro was great, beginning to end. And I don't mind the fact that The Miz lost, because The Miz deserves to be better, and The Miz did a great job of putting Antonio Cesaro over, which I have no problem with whatsoever. Now, that's all for the Rumble. Now, here's the thing. And I got talking after the Rumble because I was sure that people were going to be fuming and freaking and ranting and raving and all that sort of thing. I got on with my good buddies Preston and Alex. You can find those guys on the Wrestling Paradise DX channel, or you can check out Deluxeman or Deluxeman V2 if you want to check out just Alex. But I was on with these guys, and I told them, just because I knew it would drive them nuts, that I can pull a positive out of Rock Cena 2 at WrestleMania. Not because I want to see it. I mean, WrestleMania is going to become, for the second year on the bounce, the everything but the main event is important type of show. But what it means is that John Cena can't bury anybody. John Cena is going to go to WrestleMania. I'm predicting it right now, and we all know it. He's going to go to WrestleMania, get his revenge on The Rock for Rock beating him last year, get his title back. Vince McMahon is going to have his big circle jerk moment up there in the office, and that's how WrestleMania is going to end. But what it means is John Cena can't get involved with any other young talent, any other decent talents that we all like, and bury them, which is great, which opens up the opportunities wide open for everybody else. So let's just look at a few of those. Ziggler has a couple of options. He's going to cash in on Alberto eventually, and they're going to have a rivalry. He's going to continue his rivalry, obviously, with Jericho. Now, I'll get back to that in a second. Or that could end up being a triple threat match, which would be fantastic. I'm going to revisit that in a second. Barrett can either go and have a brawling feud with Sheamus, which I don't mind at all, because they have good brawls. If they want to fight over the Intercontinental Championship, that's no problem, and it'll keep Sheamus out of the World Heavyweight Championship picture, which will be great for everybody involved. Or he can get involved with Bo Dallas in bringing up this new talent from NXT and make him look good as he joins the main roster. Either or, that would be fine. Punk can sit there and struggle and try to stay as a third wheel on the Rock Cena feud, which could work or could not, or he can progress on to the next logical thing, which is a rivalry with The Undertaker. Now, with those names that I've mentioned so far, Ziggler, Jericho, Barrett, Rock, Cena, Punk, you know all these guys are going to be involved in Elimination Chamber matches at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view next month. All these guys, I will say it begrudgingly, including Cena, will be good in the Elimination Chamber match. Now, what does Miz do from here? Now, it looks like, judging by what happened in the Royal Rumble match, that his rivalry with Antonio Cesaro is far from over. He could go back and take a second stab at getting the U.S. title. I really hope he doesn't, not because they didn't have a good match, but because Miz doesn't need another U.S. title run. He could go back and try to reclaim his Intercontinental Championship. I don't know how a Miz versus Barrett rivalry would work, or he can insert himself into the World Heavyweight Championship picture, and this is where I consider Miz a bit of a wild card. But Ziggler is already involved with Jericho. He's already involved with Alberto Del Rio. But we've seen more than once now that Ziggler and Miz have great matches, and they have sort of a on-the-side feud happening on the smaller shows like Main Event and Superstars and all that sort of thing. So here's what I want to ask you guys. I want to pause and ask you guys a question. If it gets to WrestleMania and the World Heavyweight Championship match is a fatal four-way between The Miz, Chris Jericho, Dolph Ziggler, and Alberto Del Rio, how hell awesome would that be? Just saying. Team Hell No has a bunch of different things. Talked about them eliminating each other from the Rumble, Bryan doing it properly, Kane doing it, you know, not so properly because he wasn't part of the match anymore. They're going to break up soon. The only question is, you know, who are they going to pass the belts on to? Are they going to pass them on to the Usos, or are they going to pass them on to the Rhodes Scholars? 99% sure that they're going to pass them on to the Rhodes Scholars unless they do the Cody Rhodes Goldust thing. But whatever. Next question is, when are they going to lose the titles? Are they going to lose them at the Elimination Chamber, or are they going to lose them before the Elimination Chamber? Because I think a great match to have at the Elimination Chamber would be Rhodes Scholars versus the Usos. Then you take the Rhodes Scholars and put them up against the New Age Outlaws, you know, old school versus new school at WrestleMania. Fantastic. And after that is all said and done, you know they're going to set Bryan and Kane on the road to their match at WrestleMania, which will be probably a street fight or some bullshit like that. Rhodes and Goldust needs to happen. I don't care whether it happens at Chamber, I don't care whether it happens at Mania, after Mania. Rhodes and Goldust needs to happen at some point or another. Shield and Ryback. First of all, I'm surprised that the Shield did not get involved in the Royal Rumble match. They're going to be involved in WrestleMania some way, shape, form, or fashion. You know that. Ryback, I really don't know who he's going after at this point, because now CM Punk's probably going to go be with Taker, and Shield is going to do whatever, unless they do another, you know, Shield versus Ryback and a couple of other guys. You know, if they have, like, say, Ryback and Rey and Sin Cara versus the Shield or something like that. I really, really don't know. But there's a bunch of guys with a bunch of different possibilities right now, and all those opportunities are open to them because they know that they are not going to be squashed by John Cena at WrestleMania. I'm just saying, I'm losing my voice, guys, a little bit. I might pop off another episode of Road Signs after Raw if anything catastrophic happens. If not, I'll probably talk to you guys later in the week. I've been Spaz, your YWC Reality Check. Check out Kara. She won the Royal Rumble lottery. Her link's going to be in the description box below. I'll talk to each and every last one of you later, but I'm tagging out. Bye.
like me, don't apologize. They can't hold you down. You were born to rise. It's our time now to come out. If you're a freak